not too far from Masai Mau Forest in Ilmotiok village. Joseph Koech takes environment officers from the county around his 1-acre tree nursery, which is set up in 2019. Koech says what motivated him to start the nursery was the destruction of Mau Forest and the risk of losing critical indigenous trees found in Mau.
Elewa ya kwamba miti mingi zikikatwa na tusipopata mbegu za hizo miti zilikatwa hatutakuja kupata mbegu zingine.
Since 2019, Koech has been able to plant 700,000 indigenous trees, 500,000 exotic trees, and 10,000 fruit trees. Koech has been able to train 10 people who have shown interest in the venture. He says the main challenge is selling seedlings during the dry season as opposed to the rainy season.
Kama wakati wa mvua, tukiuza miti tunapata tuseme 20,000 per month. Then tukitumia kupurchase zile vitu ambazo hatukuwa nayo, tuseme zile polythene slips ya miti na mbegu ambazo hatukuwa nayo, after tupaki na 10,000.
President William Ruto, in his speech to the nation on Mashujaa Day, said that he will ask the Minister of Environment to recognize any Kenyan that will plant and nurture at least 300 trees in a bid to have Kenya plant and grow 15 billion trees by 2032, moving the tree cover from the current 12% to 30%.
This will eventually lead to the rehabilitation and restoration of 10 million hectares in our 290 constituencies, as well as some specially selected ecosystems and water towers threatened by degradation and destruction.
Those living in towns and cities have different opinion on this subject.
That's a very good idea for the government to come up with that initiative ya kupanda miti 300. Lakini kwa sasa mi sina shamba. Nikienda ushago, I will definitely plant trees. Na hiyo inasaidia pia kukuza mazingira. And then sasa one thing the government also needs to do, or rather the Ministry of Environment, ni wasensitize, watu waambie hiyo certificate itatusaidia nini.
Hiyo story inaweza kuwa nzuri kwa sababu sasa ukipanda miti inaweza kuwa poa juu ya kufuta mvua hiyo karibu. Na unaona sasa hii hakuna miti hii area, joto inakuwa mingi sana.
Along Gashia Road in Kiambu County, we meet Tom Ikoha, busy at his nursery. Tom, who is a landscape expert, has been selling seedlings in towns and cities for more than 20 years.
This is a very good idea that the government has decided to chip into this idea of having to improve our environment. I think it is something that they should really follow up on it. That both every person in this country must be a stakeholder in the issue of planting trees.
How can those in cities and towns be involved in tree planting?
We only have the people who are building in the city. Mostly the people who really have that view of planting trees are foreigners who come to this country, not our own Kenyans who really look at it. Because when foreigners come to this country and maybe renting a home or staying in homes, they really been very good encouraging in terms of ordering trees from us.
There's a difference between tree cover and forest cover.
Forest cover and tree cover. Hapo sijui.
Chief Conservator of Forest Julius Kamau explains.
Definition of forest cover means the association of several trees. It's not a single tree, it's a association of several trees. And for you to define an area to be a forest, it has to be at least 0.5 hectares in terms of size. It has to have trees that are not less than 2 meters high. And the crown closure, that is the canopy closure, would not be less than 15%. Now the tree cover, on the other side, it is assessment on an individual tree. Meaning, if you have a single tree or 2 trees on your farm, the canopy of that forest is what is measured.
Given that drought and lack of sufficient water is a challenge in tree growing, many do not know how to go about it.
It's the recycling of the water we have in our homes and involving other environmental practices like mulching, organizing compost, shed. All this will help us to actually produce more trees even with the limited water we have.
Whether it is you have a small plot somewhere and it can occupy a number of trees, plant a tree. Where you have a riverine that you can plant a tree, plant it. Where you have a green space that is regulated, plant a tree. We cannot miss an opportunity to be able to plant trees.
Environmentalists and climate experts believe that one of the easiest ways to mitigate the effects of climate change, apart from adaptation, is planting of trees, as they are good at sequencing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. For now, Kenyans are tasked of planting at least 15 billion trees by the year 2032. Dan Kaburu, K24, Nairobi.